So should you eat or not eat when you ride? Hey everyone, it's Graeme Street. You're joining me here on cyclo-core.com. I've got a great question here from Calvin, one that I get quite a few times from everyday cyclists around the world, and one that's always confused me years back when I didn't know any better. I didn't really understand that we can use our food as a tool to enhance our training, our performance, and we can use it as a tool to help us shed unwanted body weight and change our metabolism into a machine, a working machine. And a lot of us have it backwards in many different ways. Calvin writes in, Graeme, I have riding friends that they say that don't eat anything on long rides. I eat like a horse, usually a large breakfast of cereal, toast, English muffins, juices in the morning before I go out. I get hungry on the bike. I usually eat every 40 to 60 minutes. Gels, Fig Newtons, whatever I have in my pocket available. I'm hungry the rest of the day. However, I'd like to drop another 10 pounds. I've been struggling to do that. Should I try the no eating thing? What program of yours do you recommend if I want to lose weight? Thanks for any help and advice. Calvin. All right, a couple quick things for all of you. Every rider is different. I know no one wants to hear that about food intake, but every rider is at a different timeline in their age, which has a huge to do with your metabolic rate. Everyone has a different, just given metabolism, both genetically, morphologically, and how they condition themselves, how you eat on a regular basis off the bike, which is the majority of your life, by the way, dictates a lot of times how your body metabolizes food while on the bike. I've run the gamut from everything from high energy, high carbohydrate, to low energy intake, high fat, to everything in between. I'll tell you, matter of factly, that all these different angles can work over a short enough timeline. Over a long enough timeline, you want to be careful how adherent you are to just one ideology about how to eat food. For me, in a given 7-day period, based on the training, based on the time of year, based on the objectives and goals, I might have 3 or 4 different methods of styles of eating, both on the bike and off, to elicit a certain response. Whether that response is to maximize carbohydrate load for an upcoming event, whether it's to maximize metabolic fat burning efficiency, whether it's to maximize daily energy, whether it's to maximize recovery. I know we want to think it's just like this 1 + 1 = 2 formula for everything we do on a bike, but I can guarantee you that is not the case. At different times during the year, different times during your training, different objectives you're going to have will warrant different uses of food and fueling. A couple things to consider. Obviously, a lot of times, the food you ingest pre, during, and post is dependent, number one, on the type of ride you're doing. In general, for high-intensity trainer sessions, you could use either method, either a front load of high-end sugar right before the workout, whether it's one of my HIIT sessions or otherwise. You could do the polar opposite and remove food prior to. Again, it depends now on the goal of the ride, the goal of the workout, and the overall, I'd say 7 to 28 day objective, meaning what's your objective overall over the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? Is it to lose extra weight, 5 pounds, 8 pounds, 10 pounds? Is your objective to you're at your ideal weight and now you want to just simply maximize glycogen and performance? Those are 2 different bookends. A lot of you want to believe that you can do both simultaneously all the time. And there's a couple people out there that can probably get away with that metabolically. These are typically younger people. These are people that probably don't think too much about it. They just eat the way their body is telling them to eat, which is a beautiful thing. If more people could probably do that, you'd probably get a lot more results from your riding. The ones that tend to overthink it or over try to control it, well, I'm only going to eat organic and that's going to solve all my problems. I'm only going to eat gluten-free, that's going to solve all my problems. I'm going to starve myself on every ride, that'll solve all my problems. If you just think about that through common sense, it doesn't make sense, because I've never encountered anything in my life where I find one method, 1 + 1 = 2, and that method, that formula works indefinitely all the time, forever. I have yet to discover that in 40 years. If you find that formula, let me know, because I'd love to know what that is. Second thing to consider here, Calvin, your friends are probably referring to what's called a depletion ride, or sometimes what people call a bonk ride. I've done videos about it in the past. I spoke about depletion rides and its uses, its various uses and tactics in my master's coaching session that comes with the Cycle 90 Master's program. So if you have that program, I know a lot of you just went right to the HIIT 40 workouts or the training plan, it's all great. Make sure you listen to the coaching protocols that come with that program. Between the training and nutrition, I go over step by step exactly how to use depletion rides. If you have a riding buddy that just tells you, I don't eat at all during my riding, you're starting to think to yourself, oh shit, I eat truckloads of food, but I want to lose weight, I want to build performance, I feel sluggish after an hour, or I'm addicted to carbohydrates coming in, maybe I should wake up tomorrow and just start starving myself on the bike. Many of you that are going to try that tactic will eventually say, depletion rides suck, I hate them, I feel terrible, this doesn't work for me, I'm hungrier than ever, I won't use it. Well, it's not that the method is wrong, it's that you took someone else's one sentence phrase, inserted it as fact, and said, well, I tried it once, it didn't work, so I'll never do it again. That's your mistake, not the method. The method is a progression. Just to go out there and starve yourself for 3 or 4 hours on the bike, having never removed food from your life ever, is not going to go very well. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to hurt. And more than likely, you're going to say, this doesn't work. And you're right. In that way, really, it doesn't work. You're not doing what we're trying to achieve. The purpose of a depletion ride, listen to me, is not to starve you. The purpose of a depletion ride, the subtle removal of calories over a duration or timeline, is to retrain your metabolism to understand that it has huge amounts of stored body fat and energy that it can use at a very efficient rate once the key is unlocked. We have to basically condition your body to unlock that fat burning key. And if you're constantly eating high carbohydrate foods, right before you ride, you are locking that door down. You will never be able to tap into that body fat, and mostly because your blood sugar is cycling through again and again to such a rate that your body's expecting that, hey, if my blood sugar goes down in the next hour of hard training, it's simple. I'll just ingest more sugar, more food. And look, this tactic has value. Ingesting carbohydrates is not a bad thing. In fact, in many cases on a performance state, ingesting the right carbohydrate load is absolutely critical. But we want to match that with a high metabolic rate and making sure that your body fat can also come into play. Never make the assumption that because the age-old statement of fat burns in a carbohydrate flame dictates that carbohydrates is the only thing you have to think about. That's false. Your body is designed as a fat-burning machine. The way most humans eat, the way we've been conditioned to eat, is to eat non-human. We are conditioned to eat basically processed, manufactured, carbohydrate-laden foods. It's cheap, readily available pretty much in everything you look at. And next thing you know, well, that's how you should eat. You should eat high carbohydrate diets. And I don't even go into detail about how many people have diabetes, type 2 diabetes, the obesity epidemic that's global now. You can do the math for yourself. What we want to try to do as Everyday Cyclists is balance out that curve. We want our fruits, our vegetables, we want our carbohydrates. But when we put them in there, how we use them, the predominance of those foods, how we use our in-ride tactics, which days should be low calorie, which days should be moderate calorie, which days should be high calorie, which workouts are best suited for different tactics. Those are the things that need to get solved. And it never has to be, again, a one-size-fits-all. You can rotate. This past week alone, it's now Tuesday. Last week I did 14 hours of training. So I'm nearing a peak level of fitness for a trip I've got coming up. I ran the gamut of high carbohydrate, moderate carbohydrate, low carbohydrate, and low calorie during a 7-day period. 7 days, I ate basically seven different ways dependent on the ride and the outcome. As a result, I've lost about 6 pounds last week. I'm hitting all-time power highs in May. My endurance is shooting through the roof. It's tough to get fatigued right now. My energy is going up, up, up. So a lot of people can criticize saying, well, Graeme, you only have to advocate a vegan diet, or you have to advocate a high carbohydrate diet. You have to advocate the Atkins-like model. Screw that. I see too many people on YouTube and otherwise saying, if you just eat this way, exactly this way, every day, forever, then everything for you is solved. Really? Seriously? Because I could have sworn that I was given the ability intellectually from birth to know how to eat. I don't need to read a book to eat. I don't have to get on YouTube to figure out how to eat. I have to just simply listen to what my body's saying. And to do that, you have to be willing to try some new things. You have to find out what works for you. You have to be willing to have a learning curve where you try something. It may not work initially, but you have to kind of stay the course for a couple rounds. So Calvin, if you want to start removing calories from your ride, you can do that. I would do it slowly. I would do it strategically. I would probably start really mostly with removing that big breakfast or meals you're having right before you ride. Probably not a great idea. It's like, why don't you go swimming after eating a big meal? Well, the same thing really applies with cycling, running, or otherwise. I would not want to be eating a big meal and then trying to process that meal while I'm in motion. If you're on a bicycle, especially at a moderate to high intensity, your body's faced with the decision: digest food or supply energy to working muscles. Your body only has one of those two choices. It can't do both well at the same time. What most bodies will do, what most human bodies will do, is they will shut down the digestive tract to reroute blood supply and energy towards the working muscles of the bike. As a result, your stomach starts to do flips, you start to feel like hell, your metabolism begins to shut down, and or you begin to get ravenously hungry because your body is constantly trying to recycle this high dosage of carbohydrates coming in. If you want more details on depletion rides, how to use them, when to use them, when not to use them, check out the Master's Edition, the coaching. A couple other suggestions would be the 7-day fat loss bootcamp in the club. I know many of you are club members. I have my 7-day surges in there. Remember, I'm a huge advocate that every 7 days is a new window, a new opportunity to get something from your riding, something from your training, something from your nutrition. I know many of you, for some reason, don't understand that micronized scale, but all a training plan really is either dozens or hundreds or thousands of 7-day cycles. So every 7 days, I usually use a basic overall schematic and format. And in that 7-day format, it can lean one way or the other, or down the middle, but usually it's one way or the other to achieve a specific short-term outcome. I then bridge that outcome to the next 7-day cycle, the next 7-day cycle. In this case, the 7-day fat loss bootcamp would be a great way to stimulate your body, maybe re-educate your body on utilizing both stored glycogen or sugar and body fat to maximize your metabolism, maximize your energy, get more from your rides. Those of you that want to just go out and just start removing calories for 3-hour rides, 4-hour rides, you're welcome to do so. More than likely what's going to happen is you're going to go like this and say, this sucks, I'll never do this again. Well, I can understand why. Your body has to be introduced to it slowly, methodically, over a timeline to achieve a specific objective. It's like anything else in life. If you decide that you want to learn something, wake up tomorrow, you think because you read a book or because you got on the internet, you watched one video that now you're an expert with understanding a full paradigm shift in thinking, good luck with that. I'm not trying to achieve that in these videos. I'm just trying to give you insights and things to rethink about in relation to your riding and training. Last thing, Calvin and everybody else, instead of just worried about weight loss, your real objective should be worried about stimulating your metabolism, which is what precipitates weight loss. Trying to think about weight loss. I have to lose 5 pounds. I have to lose 10 pounds. I very rarely have encountered an individual that's lost sustainable weight loss, healthy weight loss, by fixating on I have to be lighter. These people usually, number one, very rarely lose the weight they want to lose, and number two, if they do lose it, it's not for very long. And it's just because they take extreme measures to get there. They take short-term extremes without looking at the big picture. The big picture for the everyday cyclist is to stimulate the metabolism through a use of high-intensity training, moderate-intensity training, endurance-based training, auxiliary training, proper recovery, which is a huge component of weight loss, recovery, I know that seems strange, and how to fuel those 5 different bookends on an ongoing timeline. You do that, you start getting leaner real quick. My friends, I hope this is helpful. Again, if you're looking for something simple to use for training and nutrition, look to the Master's training system, the coaching sessions for training and nutrition in particular. I'll share with you every caveat I know about depletion rides, about carbohydrate loading rides, when to use them, how to materialize them for benefit, and it's a game changer. I'm getting leaner and stronger every day. I know many of you that are using the system are as well. Till we speak again, with a smile on your face, I'll talk to you soon.